Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have my Hocus Pocus mug woohoo, with the Sanderson sisters, and I hope you too have something nice to drink because this is going to be a long-ish chatty one. So I've been thinking a lot about creativity and the algorithm. Oh gosh, it's already happening. In a writing sense, like a lot of the podcasts I've been listening to, both mostly self-pub but also trad pub ones too, have been almost talking more and more about working your way backwards. Almost like imagining your book on the shelf and doing all of the marketing internally and then writing the book. And something about that just feels kind of weird to me. There's like this pressure to guess the algorithm almost, but then also in a YouTube sense, because I've had a lot of friends who are creating these second channels, sometimes third channels. This was also inspired by the Writers Against Algorithms. Is that what it is? Not writers. Creators Against Algorithms? I don't know what it is. A tag created by Lena Norms that I really liked, and if you could not already tell by my nervous energy and also all of the ums and random staring off, I'm also challenging myself to not edit this video because in part editing of the videos goes into like the ultimate end experience for the user, and also Sky at SD Hegius, I'm so sorry, I just mispronounced that. During the Evergreen Writing Oasis challenged me to do this because I have a personal fear of not editing my videos because my mind goes everywhere. I don't know if I've talked about it. I fully script my videos. I don't always stick to the script, but I have to do it to like circle my way back. So I don't know how this one's gonna go. But I did want to talk about audience impact or audience expectations on creators maybe every step of the way, but also especially thinking about that almost before you've even done the creation. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I don't know that this is going to be any answers. I'm more posing questions to y'all and I want to hear your thoughts. Let's see. I did make like bullet point notes, so this is what I'm staring off at, which you can't see, but it's fine. So if you're like, what is she doing? Let's see. This is a good time to take a sip of your drink. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is terrible. Did I hit all the notes I wanted already? Artists Against Algorithms tag? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I also, when I was taking the James Patterson masterclass, one of the things that I both liked what he said was that too many writers forget about the reader and that ultimately a book is a shared experience between creator and consumer. And I thought that was really interesting because that's also what I've heard other people reiterate that point. And if you think about it, like traditional publishing in general is all about marketability. It's a business. Like they think that this item could be sold to a specific number of people. A specific number of the population will want this book and it will make them money most of the time. You know, that's the hope, that's the point. So much of it is about the end user experience. Oh no, where am I going with this? I don't know. Oh, this is terrifying. It's fine. So, yikes. So, I think some part of this all, especially when I'm listening to these self-publishing podcasts and thinking of working your way backwards almost through the creative process, feels icky to me upon initially listening to it, because we often think that art is like born out of the creator, you know, like it is their story to tell and it's all this stuff, right? And so there's something weird about thinking about the marketability so early on, even though I think it's smart. So there's that too. So the question becomes, is art for us, the creator? Or is the art for the consumer? Is it both? Is this kind of like a symbiotic relationship? Or is the art for the creator and then the sharing of the art is then for the consumer? Because ultimately, not everyone, but most people who are creating art of some kind want it to be seen, loved, adored, consumed in mass, you know? I'm so not used to this. Oh no, am I ever gonna post this video? I don't know. So, part of the... So I write mostly commercial fiction, genre fiction. Ultimately, my goal is to entertain, though I'd like to, you know, expand the mind of my reader in some capacity. I'm also often like, you know, most books, they're not issue books, but you're trying to tackle a specific thing. Sometimes you, the artist, are trying to work through a specific thing. But my end goal is usually to entertain. So to that end, it's absolutely for the reader. It's absolutely for the consumer, you know? Not like, it's not unlike comedians who are coming up with the jokes and they want, you know, someone to laugh at the joke. You know, you need the audience to do the thing. So then is it a bad thing to ultimately think of the audience first and work backwards? Especially like a lot of the advice I've seen for self-pub romance, and arguably even like for erotica and stuff, is to find specific tropes or specific like niche items and see if you can either do it better or see a niche that's being underserved. I just pronounce niche and niche in different ways. Which way do you pronounce it? So I don't actually think there's anything necessarily wrong about that. Not the niche thing, the like trying to pinpoint something. It becomes a question of, do you enjoy that something? So if you're finding a gap in, you know, if you're finding a gap in what the audience wants, but no one's serving that audience, is it gross for you to work backwards to create that thing? Especially if arguably you're part of that audience. Like, I don't think that's gross. I think a lot of us in some ways write the books that we want to read, but we just haven't read yet. So is that not the same thing in some way? Let's see. Yes. Sorry, my hair's a little wet too. This is a real unfiltered video. Real unfiltered, unedited, chaotic video. I'm almost done with my coffee too because I'm nervous. Okay. So I'm gonna rope this back into YouTube and the second channel thing, right? Because YouTube in a lot of ways for me acts almost as instant gratification in that you can immediately see how a video is doing, not just your videos, but like everyone's videos. So you can see how popular, you know, AuthorTube is within the specific subsection of, you know, art YouTube, I don't know, or YouTube as a whole, right? You can see these numbers. And so it also has a very specific algorithm programmed in. So, oh, that lighting change. So YouTube has a more obvious interaction with the audience, or at least it's more easy to see what's popular. And then, you know, you are creating your channel with this niche in mind so that you find the audience or the audience finds you ideally. So with AuthorTube, this is our audience. But then once you do like how I just pretend like I've thought of the idea when really it was the notes. But then that you've built this audience, the audience has certain expectations. So it's really hard to go from talking about writing exclusively to then talking about something completely differently. Your audience isn't necessarily, most likely, usually doesn't necessarily want to follow you down this path, right? And so that's why I've seen a lot of my friends make second channels, third channels, Jess with her planner channel, Laura with her like collector channel. Do I leave my little hiccups in too? I don't know. So not only then does the audience have expectations, but so does YouTube and the algorithm, right? And so that feels more obvious in some ways, but then I can kind of liken that back to pen names. And I know not everyone agrees, but we do have some idea usually of what we're gonna get with a book under specific pen names. So, you know, Nora Roberts versus JD Robb. Nora Roberts is this like super romantic, like all the romance stuff. And then JD Robb is, you know, a little bit more hard hitting, this crime fiction, like whatever kind of thing. So same person, but like we know what we're getting with each of these authors and each of these pen names. So is that not in some ways doing the same sort of thing? This is the question. I'm pretty sure I missed some of these notes. Yeah, do you write to market? That's the question. Or at what point are you writing to market? How much do you research the market? Do you think that your fiction isn't as marketable? And does that impact the path that you want to take, whether that's traditional publication or self-publication? Or does it at all impact if you even, you know, attempt to share that? So that's a question. All the questions. But I do want to go over, because I did pull some of the questions from Lena Norm's tag, Artist Against Algorithms. Which one of them was, do you spend time researching algorithms and what they want? And this is supposed to be for this person, but I'm going to ask y'all too, because I am curious. If everyone just wants to fill out the tag questions in the comments, that would be great. You know, so for me personally, in some ways, I do research the algorithms. I talk about knowing that my Scooby-Doo meets Princess Bride story, you know, one day when I get that done is, it's such a specific, all these horror comedy spoofs are such a very specific subsection, again, very niche, that it's like, I know that it's not even necessarily a choice not to do traditional publishing, I just don't even see the point in attempting. So other stuff, I have a whole sort of mindset around, you know, romance. It's like, I can make more money myself doing it myself than trying to go the traditional publishing route. So that's a reason. But the actual like algorithm, the powers that be, the publishers, most likely aren't gonna want my silly horror comedy spoofs. So in that way, you know, there is some research done. And is the algorithm, or is it like just a conglomerate of what the audience and user ultimately wants? Like, is that not how the algorithm is built? Anyways, some of the other questions is, does it affect what you make? Which I really like, because I know that for me, specifically within YouTube, the algorithm doesn't affect what I make, but I do recognize that some of the things that I make are not as popular, so I will try and time things specifically. So if I do cooking with classics, I also try to often offset that with a more popular sort of video or writing vlog or something. I know that this kind of sit down chatty video off the back of Cooking with Classics probably isn't going to help much, and I know that my channel might be dinged by the algorithm by YouTube for having too many of these unpopular things in a row. So there is some amount of thought process that goes behind it, though I wouldn't say it stops me necessarily from making what I want to make. I have thought about creating a second channel that it's just nonsense, that doesn't have a theme. I guess that's what I'm thinking, is like just dumb stuff I want to try out. I really enjoy the process of editing, despite not doing it now. But so I kind of want to play around with it more, and I don't necessarily want to do that within these other two videos. So anyways, I have thought about that. I hope y'all are realizing now, if you didn't realize before, why I often script these. Because that was not the question, and I just went off on a spiral and a tangent. And the next question is, what would you make if there were no restraints? And, you know, maybe I'd combine them on the same channel, but I don't think that really makes a difference. Again, I don't know that there's anything that I don't make that I've wanted to make specifically to fit the algorithm. At least not yet. So maybe I have been holding off. But it's never felt like a hard and fast, I can't do that sort of thing. As for books, I do a lot of my horror comedy spoof stuff for myself, with the, you know, impression still that eventually I will share it. Like that part in my mind, I don't know, how much am I writing for an audience? The horror comedy, all of my stuff that I write is for me first and then for an audience. But I don't know that I'd write something now that I wouldn't ever plan on sharing in the future. Which is an interesting, I don't know. I don't know why that is. I guess it's more like a why not share it almost. Like let the reader make their decision. You know, some of the stuff I just haven't made good enough yet to share, but that's a completely different thing than creating something in full, revising and editing it, and only saving it for me. Anyways, glad I did not answer the question that was asked. The next one is, if you're told you couldn't upload for 6 months but it would not affect your wage or views, what would you do instead? Yeah, I'd just do the same thing. I have joked that I'd make more long form videos, but actually I kind of find long form videos exhausting. So maybe if I did have 6 months of like nothing, that's all I would do is long form videos. But it's hard for me to do long form videos and like keep to a schedule of other videos, which I guess there is the algorithm in effect too, because the idea of not uploading something because I know it would kill the channel is just an interesting, yeah. So maybe the algorithm is affecting me more than I thought. Oh no. I even wrote on here, it's a struggle between stuff I want to do now and stuff I want to do in the future, but I default to the now because there's no negative repercussions. Again, this instant gratification probably. But again, gosh, how many times can I say again in one sentence? Let's find out. Where was I going with that? I don't know, I got distracted. Oh no, oh no. Sky, this is for you. Actually, I hope you didn't watch this for this point. Oh, I did get, I did pull some resources for this one, but I liked the question, what's the best thing the algorithm, jeez, just full on stopped functioning. What's the best thing the algorithm has suggested to you discovered, or that you discovered through computer suggestion? So Damon and Joe, which they haven't posted as much stuff, but Damon Dominique's YouTube channel is one of my favorite. Evelyn from the Internet's also one of my favorite. I've talked about her a lot. Lena Norms, who created the tag, was a suggestion because I watch all this booktube stuff. And then actually I had someone recently, if I could find, I'm gonna try and find it because it was a recent suggestion and I was like, hell yeah, algorithm. You have done a thing that I wanted you to do before. No? History? That's what I want. Wow, hopefully you guys are taking some sips of your drink. I should have made this like, I don't know, a drinking game of some sort. Tea Noir. Yes. So her channel's great. I have binged it the past like 3 days since it was suggested to me. Wonderful. What's the best thing you've discovered through human suggestion? There's a lot of art YouTube channels that I had asked y'all for once upon a time that I still watch now. I watch them sporadically, but yes. So art YouTube, there was, I guess I could have Googled and found some people, but yeah, also I think his name's the Sausage Guy or something. What sausage? Anyways, the boyfriend really likes him, and now I've gotten my family into it. So. I think that's all of the questions that I attempted to answer before. This is actually a tag I've been wanting to like do for a while. Oh, my ages. While. And I just couldn't figure out a way to do it in full that also looped in writing in the publishing world as much as I wanted it to. So I guess this was my weird solution that may or may not be posted. I didn't even finish, but that was a dramatic finishing sound, wasn't it? Yeah, let me just know what you think. Not about this video. No. Content-wise, I would love to know what you think. I hope this also shows y'all who have been wanting to make author tube videos that you should do it, because editing is a powerful tool. Let's see. Yeah, just let me know how much the algorithm affects you, whether that is the YouTube algorithm or how much of it is like, you know, traditional publishing and their expectations, or when do you think of the audience? You know, all of that stuff. How do you define the algorithm also? Yes. Cool. Well, thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna make real dramatic finishing sounds this time, because I did it. And yeah, I will see y'all all very soon with a new video, probably with a lot of editing. Okay, bye.